Hey everyone, so in today's video I wanted to talk a little bit about removing unwanted hair and kind of demystifying it and helping you understand it from a hair background kind of perspective. So I felt, you know, when you start shaving your legs and all of that, like, you kind of know that, like, that's kind of a short-term thing, waxing is a little bit longer term, but I didn't really, like, understand it, like, why and all of that until I got into cosmetology school. So I felt like seeing it visually, like in a diagram and just drawn out and all of that, just made me understand a little bit better. And when you understand a little bit better, you make better decisions on what methods and what you're doing. So here is a little diagram that I've drawn out for you. So I'm just going to get into it and explain like what each method does and why one is better than the other for specific things. So the first one is obviously just a natural, normal, healthy hair. That is the root of the hair. The root is very thick and then it tapers off like most hair does into a very kind of soft, almost tapers off into nothing. So when you shave hair is basically just the line here is the skin. So that's kind of, this is what's beneath the skin and that's what's exposed. So when you shave, you basically just go at the surface of the skin and shave that off. And what you are left with is a very stocky, kind of thick and coarse part. So basically the worst part of the hair, that's what starts growing out. And that's why when people say like if you shave, the hair will grow in thicker, it doesn't necessarily, because once it like gets up to the top, it'll taper off again because it's a very weak little hair. It's not like the hair that grows on your head. So that means that the little bulb or the little kind of root that nourishes the hair is a lot smaller than the ones on your head, and that's why your hair on your head can grow very long. So it will eventually taper off and look like this hair at one point, but you have to go through the nasty stage of where it's like the thickest. So basically instead of having this kind of like soft and like natural hair, you have this very thick hair that's like has these harsh edges, and that's why, you know, like a day or two after shaving your legs it doesn't feel as smooth and kind of just rough. So that's what shaving does. Now waxing or tweezing, that's when you pull the whole hair, including that little bulb piece at the bottom, and all you're left is with, that's just black because it's an empty little hair follicle. So you are left with nothing. When the hair does grow back, it grows back very thin and like this tapered hair looks like. So that's why when you wax, the hair that comes back is very soft and natural. Again, once it like gets to its full growth stage, it will look like this hair. So it's not like that you're necessarily diminishing and kind of weakening that hair. It's just when it grows in, it seems very soft and it seems like it was less hair than it was, you know, when you plucked it or waxed it. Now, say, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but when you are plucking your eyebrows and sometimes you get a little bit of blood in the, you know, the little follicle, and what happens is that means that you basically ruin the little root for that hair, and that means that that specific hair will most likely never grow back. So if it's an unwanted hair, that means it's good news. So that's basically, so you can kind of completely ruin that, and over time, say it's your eyebrows and you do wax it forever, you know, and you've gone years with waxing your eyebrows and you've gotten a couple of those like little bloody marks, that means that a few of those hairs have completely died and will never grow back. So that's why a lot of girls now are having trouble growing eyebrows back, because they will have sometimes little areas where they just have like a little gap that just doesn't fill in, and that's the reason. Then there's the other option, which is like lasers or electrolysis, even though electrolysis isn't really necessarily done so much anymore. And what that is basically, electrolysis is a needle that goes into the root and basically shocks it and kills it, or a laser, which is a lot less tedious, and it just basically, you just beam this laser on the skin and it finds the hair follicle and kills it. So without a needle actually having to go in the follicle. But basically you're killing it or drying it up slowly, because it's not with just one, you know, one service or one appointment that you completely get rid of that hair, but that hair will grow in weaker and weaker with time, and eventually it'll just fatigue and just dry and die out. So that's what laser does. There's not necessarily a better option necessarily. It's more if you want long term, obviously laser is probably the best. If you want, you know, clean, smooth, say you're going on vacation, but you don't necessarily want to spend a lot of money, waxing is the best. And shaving is obviously the cheapest, most convenient, easy, you know, that you can just do for 2 minutes in the shower and you are done. So anyway, hope you found this helpful and hope you learned a thing or two from this. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please give this a thumbs up. It helps me out so much. You have no idea. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.